improving of the printing press. What does print mean? Print, what is this? Print means to produce books or newspapers in a large quantity by using a machine, which is called the press or the printing press. Okay, why do you call the machine press then? Because you press the letters with the ink on it to the paper. That's why you call it the press. Okay, that's why newspapers or magazines are called the press. The splitting of the Catholic Church. What does split mean? Split means to divide something, right? The dividing of this Catholic Church. What does Catholic mean? Catholic Church is the Christian, it's a branch of the Christian Church of which the leader is the Pope, and it's based on Vatican in Rome. Okay. And so the Catholic Church has splitted, and the decline of feudalism. What does the decline mean? Decline means getting weaker or less, all right? A decline of feudalism. What is feudalism? Feudalism is a system of the society where people are given land and protection by the landowner, all right? That's the lord. And they, in return, they have to work and fight for the lord, the landlord, all right? That was the social system in the medieval times. The printing press made books cheaper and more available and helped spread ideas. It made books cheaper and available. What does that mean? Available. Available means it's at the state where you can use it, where you can access that. The Reformation and the rise of Protestantism led to many people living more secular lives, which allowed new ideas to flourish. The Reformation. What does re mean? Again, right? What does form mean? Form means the shape. So this is making the shape again. Reformation is the change and improvement, okay? And when you talk of religion, this is like the changing of the Christian church, because the Catholic Church was corrupted at that time, all right? They sold something called the indulgence. Indulgence is like a permission to go to heaven. They sold that, so a lot of people were very angry, upset with it, and they tried to change the church. That's a Reformation, okay? It was done like from people like Luther or Calvin, okay? The Reformation and the rise of Protestantism. Protestantism. Protestants are the people who wanted to change the Catholic Church, right? What does protest mean? Protest means to show that you do not approve, you are against something. It's showing that. Okay? You are. They showed that they were against the Catholic Church. Okay. All right, and they tried to base their religion, which is a Catholic, as much as to Bible and nothing else as possible. Okay. Led to many people living more secular lives. Led to this. What is the base form of led? Lead to, right? If something leads to something, it causes that. What does lead mean? Lead means to take someone somewhere, right? To guide. Okay? It led to many people living more secular lives. What does secular mean? Secular means not related to religion, okay? Which allowed new ideas to flourish. What does flourish mean? Flourish means to make something, flourish means to be successful and strong and becoming stronger. Okay, that is a flourishing. So why does leading secular lives allows the new ideas to flourish? Why? Because if you have a religion, there's kind of things that you have to do regularly, like pray at a certain time, or go to the church at a certain time, or do some activities at a certain period of the year, things like that. So it deprives you of the time that you can spend on doing what you want to do. As the Catholic Church's influence waned, humanism gained importance. Catholic Church's influence waned. What is influence? Influence is the power to change something or affect something. Waned. What does wane mean? Wane means get weaker or less. So decline and wane is similar. Humanism gained importance. What is humanism? Humanism is the idea that humans are the most important thing. Okay? More important than God. Alright? So individual happiness is the most important thing in life. Humanism gained importance. What does gain mean? Gain means to gradually get more of something. You gain weight. Alright? Gained importance. Remember that humanism is the idea that humans are of prime importance and that all humans have rights. Humans are of prime importance. What does of mean? Of prime importance. Hold on. Before we do that, we're going to talk about prime. What does prime mean? Prime means the most important thing. Okay? Prime importance. So, this is the usage of here. Of makes a noun to be used as an adjective. Do you understand? So like are of prime importance is the same as are primarily important. Do you get that? So that's the usage of. And that all humans have rights. What's a right? Right is what you are naturally entitled to do. That means what you naturally should have. Okay? Or what you naturally could be able to do and things like that. Although not everyone embraced humanism, it took root during the Renaissance and has become quite influential even up to today. Although, what does that mean, although? You use although when you want to say something which is the opposite from the main clause, alright? So, although not everyone embraced humanism. What does embrace mean? Hold on. Embrace means to hold something around with your arms. Hold something around with your arms. Embrace. So if you embrace an idea, that means you accept that idea, okay? Like you welcome that and you support it. Although not everyone embraced humanism, so that means although everyone did not accept the idea of humanism, it took root. What does that mean, take root? Take root means to be firmly established, alright? What is root? Root is the part of a plant, okay, which grows under the ground. During the Renaissance, and so it became firm during the Renaissance and has become quite influential. What does that mean, quite? Quite is same as rather, alright? Rather, quite. It means a little, or a little less than very, alright? A little influential, very influential, Okay, even up to today. What does even mean? Even means when you want to say something surprising. Up to today. What does that mean? Up to, until today. Okay. So let's go to the next part.
Was the decline of feudalism.
Hold on.
For a millennium, even up to today. The third factor, as I mentioned, was the decline of feudalism. For a millennium, feudalism had prevented much progress from being made in Northern Europe. However, thanks to the rise of independent towns and the use of money as a medium of exchange, the feudal system of lords and serfs began to decline. Suddenly, large numbers of free men began demanding wages for their labor. As feudalism declined, governments in Northern Europe became more stable and centralized. Thus, monarchies strengthened, which curbed the power of many nobles.
Okay, up till here. What is this part about? It was about the third factor which helped spreading the ideas in Northern Europe. The third factor was what? The decline of feudalism. Okay. So it's explaining what it did. The third factor, as I mentioned, what does that mean, mention? Mention means to say something briefly, shortly. What's the decline of feudalism? Decline, what does that mean? Decline means get weak or get less in quantity or importance. Decline of feudalism. What is oh my god. Feudalism. We did that, right? And for a millennium, feudalism had prevented much progress from being made in Northern Europe. For a millennium. What's a millennium? Millennium means 1,000 years. What does mil mean? Mil means 1,000. Okay? And it's particularly the 1,000 years, which ends in starts and ends with 00. So like from the year 1000 to the year 2000, that's a millennium. Do you get that? Feudalism had prevented much progress. What does prevent mean? Prevent means to stop something from happening. Okay. What's the decline of... Oh, no. Prevented much progress. What is progress? Progress is gradual improvement, okay? From being made in Northern Europe. However, what does however mean? You use however when you want to say something that contrasts the thing that you have just said, something that is different. It's like but. But thanks to the rise of independent towns and the use of money as a medium of exchange, the feudal system of lords and serfs began to decline. Thanks to, what does that mean? Thanks to means because of. Because of the rise of independent towns. Rise. What is a rise? Rise means going up. Okay, so something having more popularity or influence would be rise. Rise of independent towns. What does independent mean? If you say something is dependent upon or dependent on, that means it needs that to live or to be successful or do the job properly. Do you understand? So independent means doesn't need anything else to do its work or to live. Independent towns and the use of money as a medium of exchange. Use of money as a medium of exchange. What does medium mean?